Yes, guys, hope everyone is good. Now, Jorginho Rutter, interesting topic, right? He's been talking a lot. Well, he's not been talking a lot. He's been seen a lot. He's been pictured a lot. There's a lot of images of him with Farke having a nice chat. There's a lot of talk about where he will play next year. Now, he said in the Athletic, Phil Hayden article, stating Farke sees him as a winger. Is that his best position? Let's get into it. Straight off the bat, yes, I believe that is his best position. And we'll get into why. But I want to compare him to Onel Hernandez, the Norwich winger, who in the 18-19 season was phenomenal for them. I watched 3 hours of footage of him yesterday, watching the 4 games. He was their best player in those games. He was phenomenal and vital cog. However, but you look at his time before he went to Norwich, and it's this, what we're seeing with Rutter. A lot of games being played down the middle. A lot of them being played in that striker or centre forward position. Now, this is interesting for a guy, if you look at his stats, who's clearly not that clinical. And this is somewhat we see to Rutter. If we look at Rutter here, his Bundesliga season, 33 appearances, 8 goals and 4 assists. Not terrible. It's not clinical, is it? And you look where he's been played, predominantly centre forward. Again, look at last season, being played centre forward. He's not that guy. And with Onel Hernandez, once he went full time to Norwich, Farke noticed that. And then let's just look at his stats in his first season. 18 goal involvements from the wing. 36 games he started on the wing. Nothing to do with striker. Don't want any of that. And this is what I see is done with Rutter. He's identified his attributes that he needs to fit him as a winger in the Championship or under his system. And he's identified how that will be most effective. Clearly, that is from the wing. As we've seen with Onel Hernandez, it worked massively. With Jorginho being played up front, with not been a clinical player, he's not a striker. He could adapt that role. He can drift into central areas, which he will do under Farke, which we'll get into when I show the clips. I'm going to show the clips in a minute. He's not a clinical striker. He's not a clinical player. But what he does possess, which are vital in Daniel Farke's system, is he's aggressive going forward, great feet, great dribbler, power, quick, good movement, beat a man. All things Onel Hernandez can do on the wing. However, when they were playing striker, they didn't necessarily blessed with clinical finishing. It makes total sense. Of course, they're not strikers. Especially not in a Farke system that relies their striker to be predominantly on the last man at all times and clinical. Timo Pukki never really got involved in the build-up unless it's a little quick pass. And it's like so you're at the edge of their box kind of area. It was clinical. These guys are not. He's not a striker. He's also not an attacking midfielder for me because I think an attacking midfielder in a Farke system has to be a bit more defensively sound, but also someone who is versatile and can go forward in terms of be on the last man. I'd argue Rutter can do that, but again, I just think he's a lot more suited technically on the wing in a Farke system, and I'll show you why right now. Again, we all know this goal. He won 1 goal of the season, but he absolutely wraps it into the far top corner over there. You can't see it on the screen. Now, if you look at his starting position, and again, high up on the wing, not in the box. He's not being that guy. Pukki in this situation would be a Farke striker would be in the box. Rutter is not that guy. Rutter is 1v1 with the defender out wide and he's beating him. He's got a shot off on his left foot and put it in the top corner. Starting position wide. Again, you can just see. Look at what he's putting on. He's wide again, right? Starting wide. Again, in this position here, building the attack wide. And these highlights are all things he did well. So he kept the ball at these points. They're not points where he did it and lost it. These are where he was effective. Either got a goal assist or he did well. And looking at this, and this is a big one for me, especially with what I've seen from Hernandez, Onel Hernandez in a Farke system, is this position. Beaten this guy, drove into the box. And it's all about these guys here getting in these areas, which they do. Rutter takes his man on, gives it back post, this guy taps it. That is what a winger does in a Farke system. Everything Rutter is doing is from wide. It's not from central areas. He drifts in central areas, which players in Farke system do. Their natural, progression is from the wide areas. 1v1 with the fullbacks. This is one where I like. So, and I'll do a thing with Buendia in just a second. So he gets in this area here. So this is where, in a Farke system, he's already here, but in a Farke system, you would drift into this position. Right? This is the space. You've got that quick pass into midfield. And I'll show it right now. As you can see, Buendia's done exactly the same thing. This is against Leeds. What he did was, Lewis has gone right high up. He's drifted in this area with Vantage going a bit deeper to build the play up. He's there. He's done exactly the same thing Rutter has done. First touch, 2 defenders, gone. Wins a free kick, I believe. It's all about being able to play wide, but also being able to drift into areas and be dangerous behind the striker to create chances, to get the team forward, to link the play up. He can do that. His first touch is very good, and his first touch to turn is very good. He's very good at holding the ball up and then turning quickly. And this is similar to Onel Hernandez, as we saw in the previous clip. Obviously, I can't show it because of copyright, but yeah, you can see that clearly. Comes in this area, beats Ayling, and he's look at the space now. Again, here's another clip. He takes 2 of them on. I believe he wins a penalty. Starting from wide, beating defenders 1v1, or even 2v1. Again, takes the ball past the defender, high up, 1v1. Megs us in, wins a free kick at the edge of the box. Same position. This is what I like. He's just absolutely done these 2. He drifted in this time. He sat out here. You can watch the clips. He drifted in. Also, I'll just say this clip is from 360 edition, so shout out to those guys. And anyone else doing clips. It's helpful for context. He drifted out wide. He came in, took these 2 on, and he pings the ball out to the left wing. Again, it's about being comfortable drifting inside. It's big in this system. Here we go again. Same position. I can't show the clips, but same position. You get my point, right? A lot of his highlights and the good things he does in games are from these high positions. Now, I can't show it, but in the game Norwich played against Ipswich, where Onel Hernandez was outstanding, this is what we saw. A lot of this. They constantly got the ball to him because they identified he was the strength against this fullback. And I promise you, and you can watch the game 5, 6, 7, 8 times in the first half. They got the ball in this exact position and he would drive to the line. And 9 times out of 10, he would either get a cross in or drift inside and give the ball out wide, the other winger. And this is what we see from Rutter. And if you remember some Leeds things that Rutter's done this season, a lot of his good stuff came from wide, building play up from wide. He did it quite well. So for me, this is what we need. And you guys can watch the games. I've also watched the games for another reason, for another video I'm doing, and not just for this one moment. There's a lot of moments in the games where this happened, though. That is important to point out. Not just the only one. And they were very, very effective doing this throughout the season. I watched this game. I watched the one against Leeds. And he came on against Villa and did the same thing. Very effective. And this is what Rutter will do. And this is why I believe Rutter is an out-and-out winger in a Farke system. I think he will tear it up, just like Onel Hernandez is. I also think he has a higher ceiling. Look, if he gets his mental right, if he integrates himself well into the culture of the club, I like everyone else, I believe there's a top player being brewed up. Genuinely believe that. So yeah, but in terms of central attacking midfielder and striker, I don't think it works as a striker because you look at, and again, I can show you clips, but I don't want this video to be too long. Strikers in a Farke system are strikers. They often stay on the last line. Look, in a deeper situation where they've got 10 men behind the ball, of course they will get involved in link-up play, but in a transition or when moving forward, the strikers will remain on the last line and occupy the defenders and won't get involved much in the game. And their main principle to play is to be clinical. And Rutter isn't that. So that wouldn't work for me. He's someone that has to use his attributes to get involved in the game because he has them. And those are best from the wing. In terms of attacking midfielder, again, I don't think he suits that perfectly. I don't think he's technical in terms of passing and kind of positional awareness in the midfield to really adopt that role. I just think as a winger in a Farke system, he's the ideal profile. For me, it's not going to be about where he plays now. I think that it's clear he's going to be a winger. I'm happy with that. I think that's a good option. Look at Onel Hernandez, who was fantastic in the 18-19 season. I argue he's a better player than Onel Hernandez. If he's, as he grows, obviously. Onel Hernandez was younger at this point, was older at this point. And his ceiling is much higher, clearly. So, for me, he could be a real player in the Championship. As long as he gets that mental side right and he wants to play here and he is happy here. He's all right with failure. He can get over it, learn the language a little bit, integrate himself into the culture. Real good player on our hands. And one that will absolutely thrive in this system. Believe me. Watch the games, watch the clips. They're all there. Type them in on YouTube. Everything's there. It works. And it will work if all those other things off the pitch translate with his performance and what he can do on the wing. Yeah, that's my thoughts. There's some other good stuff coming soon about players and where they'll fit into systems. Obviously, I'm going to do some transfer linked players at some point. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm actually pretty sure it's part. Can't speak, but yeah.